Hey everyone, so I'm outside on January 24th, 2018, walking to my appointment for with the psychologist. As you saw, my first vlog video was made today, and we're working on trying to overcome my uh, anxiety and my agoraphobia of being out in public. So since my psychologist, her office is just about a 15-minute walk from where I live, I thought the first thing that we could do is by walking there instead of driving like I have in the past. So today, even though it's winter and cold, a little bit icy because it rained yesterday and then got cold overnight, we're walking anyways. So here's the first steps to getting better, and the first day towards becoming more adapted to being able to be in public. And I am shaking like hell, not from being cold, but because it's mild. It's maybe only -2 out, but I'm shaking in my legs because of my anxiety just being out in public. So at least it's progress. I have already gone 2 blocks and I'm not too far away, so that's what we're going to do. Hey folks, I hope you enjoyed that little bit of an introduction there. So yeah, the first thing I did was right after the last vlog posting that you saw, I made sure that I went out and exposed myself into the public. Even though I didn't run into anyone or anything, it was still anxiety provoking just to be able to walk to my appointment and then walk back, because I was out of my house, not in the safety of my car. So yeah, I think I did a pretty good job. And then a little bit later, we did this. So because it's my birthday, I'm going to have some drinks with my best friend. His name's David, and so I'm going to provide the Coke here. As you can see, I got a little bit of Coke, and he's going to provide the whiskey. So he's coming over to pick me up, and we're going to go over to his place, and that will make it twice. That's 2 times today that I managed to get out of the house. So always have a good friend that lives nearby. That was one of the reasons why I actually moved to Guelph, was because my best friend lives here. So having a good friend that lives nearby makes it so much easier for you to be able to get out of the house. And I would always advise to anyone that's got a little bit of agoraphobia or even a strong amount of agoraphobia, if you can have someone that lives nearby that you can get out and get to, that's good. That would be great. And sometimes it's, even for me, like even my friend will invite me out and I will say no, that I don't feel like it, because I don't feel like it that day. But you know what, this is my birthday, so I'm going to say yes, of course, to it. And hey, a couple drinks isn't going to hurt me. Sure, it's going to put up my blood sugar level when I take it next, but you know what, it's my birthday, might as well celebrate, right? So that's what I'll do, celebrate. So as you saw, I celebrated a night with my friend for my birthday and had a few drinks, not too much. My sugar level actually didn't get that high. I think when I went to bed it was a 4.4, so it was actually a little bit lower than usual. But I did have a few glasses of water when I got home, just because I was thirsty and to try to bring my sugar levels back down so it wouldn't be too high. And my medication helps a lot. I found that I've been able to eat a little bit more again, like a little bit of snacks, like I treated myself to some ice cream bars and some chocolate for my birthday. Cheated a little bit more than I usually do, so I don't think we lost a whole lot of weight this week. And then the next day, on January 25th, which was yesterday, we went and had a walk with our friend. And let's check it out. So here we are at the
What's that size?
prison. This is the
Oh.
It's abandoned now. So and who you heard was my friend, who managed to get me out of the house. So this is the day after my birthday. So we're on the 25th of January, and we took the dog out and just for a walk. So here's the second day of my attempt to get myself out of the house more often. So as you saw, we were out at a park kind of thing that has an old abandoned prison, but it's still maintained. There's still security guards there. That we saw the vehicles, but it wasn't in the video. And so after that, we went back to my friend's house, and this is the wife to my best friend, the one that I hanged out with the night before, and so after a little bit, he came home, and him and I went out, and we actually went shopping for his nieces and nephews. I actually walked into Toys R Us, people. I walked into Toys R Us. Sure, I had my friend there who made it a lot easier for me to be able to walk in, because to me it's a shield. It's like having a shield, body armor, whatever. I don't know how to exactly explain it. I'm not trying to put down my friend saying, "Oh, I'm using you as a body shield." No, it's not. I'm not going to jump behind them if shit went down. But I mean, it's a mental thing, as thinking for some reason I just feel safer when I'm with someone else. Even with my children, I can go out in the public a lot easier with my children than I am by myself. And so it's a mentality shield of some sort. I don't know how to explain it, but that's the way it is. But it was just surprising. Like, there was a little bit of anxiety probably in me, probably first walking in, but after a little bit, it was all fine. And then after that, we picked up some food for dinner, and had that, and then I came home. And then this morning was because, well, today will be my rest day. We did some exercising on the bicycle. Check it out. So yeah, that was the bicycle ride. It wasn't as long as some bicycle rides I've had in the past, but the thing is, sometimes you have more energy than other days. It's not about the consistency of how far you're going, unless you're training for an event or something. Like if you're training to do a race or something, then yeah, you're going to want to be more consistent on how many kilometers you're getting, what your cadence is, or RPMs, for your legs and such like that. But for me, it's just about trying to help lose weight, try to stay a little bit fit, exercising, getting that heart beating, and it's just about pushing yourself a little bit each day on something. If you can't push yourself to get out of the house, push yourself to do something in the house that's going to keep you active. And that's my advice for this time. Just keep giving everything you can. Like, every day we're going to have good days, we're going to have bad days, we're going to have days where we can get out, and we're going to have days that we can't get out. It doesn't matter, like, as long as you give it a try. If you never give yourself a chance, how are you going to ever get better? That's the real thing about this, is you gotta work on yourself. You can go to as many counseling appointments and as many psychiatrists and psychologists as possible. They can give you meds, or they can put you on medical marijuana if you're on that. Hey, no judgment here. I know people that are on it, and it works for them. I just personally don't want to use it because my children are kind of young and impressionable at the moment. They are getting to the point of being able to be more independent, more understanding. They're able to learn, understand things that I tell them. Like, I teach them science. I teach them above their grade level of science all the time, because they ask questions and I will blatantly tell them, yeah, this is how it works, and I'll go into detail, and they love it. And because you never know what they're going to understand and not understand. But with medical marijuana and people doing it recreationally out there, there's just, I don't want them to get mixed ideas, especially when one of them's coming into, soon about to be is a preteen right now, and it's going to go through the teenage years soon. And yeah, it's just something you don't want. Now others, they can manage. They view it differently, and hey, if it works for you, it works for you. For me, what works for me is determination. I find I've always been determined. I found out that I had Asperger's or autism, whichever you want to call it, when I was 30. And the first thing I did was go out, get books about what Asperger's was, because I had never heard of Asperger's in my life. And autism I heard of, but I didn't really understand it. So I didn't know that it was unnatural for me to not look people in the eyes, and I thought I was just shy. That's why I didn't talk a whole lot. I didn't know why I felt nervous every time I met someone new or anything. And the thing is, when I learned all this stuff in the book of who I was then able to learn how to overcome my natural disabilities, if you want to call it that. I don't view Asperger's as a disability very much. Like, it's got its disabilities, but it's got so many pros to it as well. Like, good memory. Normally good memory. Now that I have anxiety issues and depression and PTSD, my memory isn't as good as it was. But before I got injured, my memory was amazing. I'd sit there in class, I'd learn, and as long as I applied myself and actually paid attention, I'd get great grades. Especially when I was in the military, I was getting really good grades, and I wasn't even having to study. And people were, and in one of the courses I got, I think, a 91.8 average, and I was missing 50% of class time. I didn't study, and I was missing it because I was going through counseling, because my wife had just left me in the middle of the course, and then I was also having to go twice a week to have my feet worked on, because I had these nasty warts in my feet. And so I was missing a long time, and at this time I did not know I had Asperger's whatsoever, and I was doing amazing grades. Like at first I was getting 98 percent and 100% on test, and I was sitting up there with a 98, 99% average, and then it just kind of it went down because of stuff that was going on in my life with the separation, the kids moving away, and it just started wearing down, and then me deciding that I was going to move out of the place that I was living in because it was I felt it was too expensive and too big for just myself at the time, and there was memories there that I didn't want to come home to an empty house, so I moved into barracks, and a lot of stuff went on, and so my grades did kind of go down, but I never failed a test or anything. I didn't even come close. I think my lowest mark was an 86% on one of the tests, and I did get pulled into the sergeant's office because the sergeant questioned me because it was the first one below a 92, and he just wanted to make sure that things were going fine and making sure that I wasn't going to fail, and having a talk. And I was determined throughout it all that I was not going to go on personnel waiting training platoon, also known as PAP platoon. I was going to continue with my course, and so months later, when the course was done, and then I got posted to my first unit, I found out I had Asperger's. I bought this book, learned, and so I was like, holy crap, what I got to do is start looking people in the eye. And so I started learning, and I still to this day have to tell myself, look people in the eye. It's constantly in your head, look people in the eye. And that's the same thing as with now having agoraphobia and anxiety and PTSD and everything. It's telling yourself, you can do this, nothing bad's going to happen. You got it. Your brain is telling you something bad's going to happen, and yet your conscious side of your brain, the part that you have control, is where you got to say, no, nothing bad's going to happen, I'm going to be safe, and give yourself reasons. For me, this week, I told myself it's a short distance to my psychologist, and the other reason is there's no parking down there. There is, but it's always taken because it's right on the street, and there's limited amount. There's not like a parking lot or anything, so like there's no parking except for in the 15-minute parking spot, and I don't want a ticket for being there longer than 15 minutes, or even worse, having my car towed, which would cost even probably more than what the ticket will just to get the car back, and stuff like that. You got to tell yourself. And then the other things was like going to my friend's place. I had already been out that day on my birthday, so it was easier to say, yeah, let's go out. And plus it was my birthday, so I wasn't going to say no to going out to my friend's place. Like, it was just to my friend's place. It wasn't like we're going to a bar or anything. It was just to his place, and so it made it easier. And then like my friend is amazing. His wife's amazing, who's also my friend, and they have this adorable dog. She sometimes can be a little, really hyper, but she's just a puppy, so that's quite understandable. And plus, for me, I know whose dog it is, and so it doesn't scare me for whose dog it is. I love the dog. Always let her jump up on me and everything, and I play with her, and so it's just great. And then for the walk, I had anxiety before going to the walk. I had anxiety talking about it the night before about going on this walk with my friend, and it's not because it was with her or be, or anything. It was just the fact that I was going to be out in public, and we only ran into one person, and that was at the very beginning. They were leaving the place that we went to, and we were just heading in, and that was it. And the rest of the time it was just the two of us plus the dog. So it was a great walk and everything, and I plan to hopefully do it again next week, probably on Tuesday and Thursday, as long as she doesn't get sick of me coming with her. But it was great. And then last night it was just, he asked me if I could manage to go into the store, and I said that I thought I could, and I managed to do it. And I just told myself, you're with your friend, yeah, you're going to be fine. And plus the parking lot was pretty much empty, so that made it a little bit easier. If it was like Christmas time, parking lot is fully packed and everything, I might have said, how about I just wait here with in the vehicle while you go do your thing. It's hard to say. The anxiety would have definitely been way higher. And if it was just me by myself, it would have taken some talking into to be able to do that. If I was doing serious talking to myself about doing it. So I'm quite proud of myself that I managed to do this stuff this week, and I hope you enjoy this, and I hope this helps you, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care.